So we here. This technology have a mind of its own. Let's see. All right. So once again, we here. I'm self-made. A lot of people have an understanding that they got to a degree in life and pretty much done some things where they, in most cases, feeling is all about them. You know, they did everything on their own. Nobody helping them. When it comes down to it, it's all about me. know, I never got nobody to help me start my business. I did it from the ground up, man. Hard work and dedication. I did it. There was nobody helping me, long nights, and I made my corporation the way it is, all by me alone. But then if you say, well, let me take all your employees away, and how could your business be? Because honestly, you know, you're running the business by yourself. But, in most cases with most people, you're not the business alone. You had all kind of things helping you from, dealing with banks and, having structure. You have people in your corner. Sorry about that. But, it has to the point that you actually have nobody around you keep pushing this, but the focus is you. You know, you you started you started the business. You had plenty of help, but everybody wants this whole thing to where, I'm the millionaire, I did it, nobody helped me. I was looking at this thing with Arnold Schwarzenegger, excuse me. Yeah. So basically, sorry about that, doing some stuff. But Arnold Schwarzenegger was saying that when it come down to it, yeah. So basically, Arnold Schwarzenegger said that when it came down to it, came to America with a dream and all this, and he had a messed up apartment and all, and the people that he knew at the gym he worked at and stuff came to his spot, gave him some plates, forks, cups, and everything to help him fit into his home. If it weren't for those guys, yeah, he could have did it on his own. It would have took him a little time, but he had help, you know, with the bill. And it's not saying that they made him because they gave him stuff, you know. And it comes to a degree in most cases that people do, you know, feel as if they have some type of, you know, uh, I made you be the person you are today. I gave you the money, but you're the one that put in the work. You know, you have a lot of YouTubers come on here and want to down people, throw people up under the bus, but your supporters help you because have an understanding of who you are and what you're bringing to the table is the big thing. We're on here either helping or entertaining. That's the main focus, either helping or entertaining. Some in between, but main thing, helping and entertaining, you know, on these YouTube streets. A lot of people try to motivate themselves to be bigger than who they are. They want that 10 minutes of fame and they made themselves. There's a comedian, Young Dolph, had on his, deal where he told him, "I'm gonna make you famous out of minutes." And I get the guy's name right now, but he said that if he would have never got with Dolph, it would have took him longer to become known because he was funny. It's just that he had that extra push, you know, and he was happy for that, know, to the point any company is only good as its workers. So technically speaking, yeah, you started a business. You built that foundation and a thought, a dream, but everyone else that worked with you made this thing a success. And that's the crazy part about a lot of people, going into this whole me thing. Even in the family business, you know, you can't be selfish and withhold, you know, even, from the aspect of having a wife. If you want to be this ruthless tyrant, I keep saying this, you got to get everything that comes with it. The woman can easily pull the plug on you at your worst because, you was a dictator over her. And most dictators, we know what happened to them. You know, when you play that dominant role, you got to accept everything that comes with it. You know, there's some dictators that flee. Some dictators never see the light of day again. Know, and to an extent, I was on Sir Ism, and shout out to Ism with the wisdom. You know, the thing is, Ism Ism is doing a lot of motivation and trying to, get people to understand things, you know, in regards to what they live in. Ism, shows his, young boys how talks about his young boys how they're, being adults, being in relationships. He's talking with them, trying to get them to understand certain things. You know, Perfect Timing was over there. Aunt T was over there. We were all having a discussion, man. Building. A lot of people want to be self-made like they did it on their own. But the collective, man, having that family, that bond with each other, that's the main structure. You know, I was on Sheila panel, and we was over there having a discussion. Sheila was talking about how the black men in the community, start naming off the pop pops, the old men, and all these guys in the community to help. And not a shot to Jack Spade, but Jack was saying, when he was coaching and he wasn't doing all this stuff to kind of motivate the kids. He was doing it because he had time. And like I explained to him, you might not try to be a mentor, but when it came down to it, you was a mentor. You were the guy that those kids looked at, whether it was for the good or for the bad. Coach was so hard on me, and it made me be better in life. Coach always, congratulated me on things. And that's what motivated me because he was the only one that ever did it. My mom, my dad never congratulated me on making, decent grades. I never brought an A home. I always brought B's and C's. But when I went to basketball practice and I make a layup right, coach said, "You got it." That's what I'm talking about. You know, a lot of people don't understand. To a degree, when I used to coach wrestling, that's how it was. A lot of the young kids, I would always tell them, the same way I was taught, showing the moves and stuff. And I tell them, practice hard. You know, when it came down to it, I used to, for the most part, try to eat and sleep. I get up in the morning, eat right, do my little exercise, and go on to school. You know, couldn't wait. Did everything I had to do in class in order to be on the team. You know, I knew I had to have good grades. I couldn't play in class. Coaches stayed on us about that. If you ain't smart, you can't do nothing. If you can't hit the books, you can't do nothing. So they motivated us to not only be good on the mat, you got to be good in the school, man. You got to be good on the books. You know, each one teach one. So in understanding, you know, a lot of people don't have that wisdom in which you giving self motivation. You know, you making every individual be motivated, not on a self-made thing, because it's a notion that I hear this and I laugh at this when people say they're born smart, and it's funny to me. You learn things to educate yourself. You're not born smart, and a lot of people don't have an understanding. When it comes to all that self-made. As a collective, the people around you made you. You know, your father poured into you, your mother poured into you, teachers, everybody around you poured into you. So technically speaking, you wasn't self-made. You did certain key things in life to build for yourself, yes, but you had the motivation of people around you, you know. But I did the work. Who helped you do the work? Who gave you that boost? And a lot of people don't want to recognize people because it takes the onus off of them. Like, you know, I put in that hard work. I was the one did those long hours. You know, share the wealth, man. A lot of people gotta learn how to share the wealth. But like I always say, I have my spiel, and I bring up the money because, like I say, have an understanding. Money moves the culture. Money moves us into a better direction in a better situation. So, you know, get into stocks, get into crypto, get into life insurance. Like I say, my personal favorite, get into life insurance. All these young, I mean, you're never too old to have a life insurance. Whole life is better for older people because you're leaving more money, you know. And to a degree, I always say, if you're worrying about the cost of life insurance, let's have an analysis on things in life. You shouldn't be drinking that much, no way. Cut down and drop one bottle and take that and put it aside. If you're smoking, you know, cut a little bit out your smoke fund and put it on life insurance. You know, if you got a family or don't have a family, you still need life insurance. you can give money to a niece and nephew. You know, if you don't have kids, one of the biggest things one of my family members do every year for Christmas, they spoil the crap out of my boys. And I tell them, be like, hey man, you got to slow down. I don't want them thinking that this is the norm. You know, trying to guide them a certain way. And the first thing they always say, they the future. But in all, they my family too. They know it's not coming from you. It's coming from me. And I'm trying to pour into them as much as possible to win. I'm giving them motivation that as long as you're doing the right thing, good things come to you, and that pretty much, hit me the most, man. And I laughed at that regarding, what they were saying because technically it's true. You know, when it comes down to it, motivating them is the bigger factor. Showing them that hard work and dedication pays off. You know, and now I'm getting my sons these credit cards, and hopefully this business is everything that they advertise. And I'm gonna start talking to people about that too. It's called Busy Kids. It's an app, and they have it a proportion that their allowance on these cards can go toward stocks and also charities. You know, the parent can set up for the child to, have a portion of their money that they give them go towards stocks and charities and how much. Very little I'm gonna teach my kids about. I mean, for the most part, I'm gonna show them about donating, but their money, as far as savings and stocks, for them to get in there at a young age, that's gonna be an awesome thing. One of my sons, to a degree, he doesn't value money like that. He knows what money does. He likes it, but to a degree, it don't actually own him. And then, as far as the other one, you know, he's motivated to get money. He likes he likes getting money. It's a big thing for him. He wants that money in his hand because he see himself being rich. Every time he get a little money, he thinks that money, is gonna be the one all be all. He got about $52 for Christmas at a Christmas party, and it was so funny. My boy 10, and everybody was telling me how he just thought somebody was gonna steal his money. Couldn't go to sleep there. He was holding on to the money, and I was just crying laughing, man. And they was like, yeah, man, he just was, trying to make sure nobody would take his money. And then when he found out he had another $50 in a gift bag in a card, he walked by that bag almost once or twice an hour to make sure nobody didn't touch that bag. And I was dying laughing. Even though this boy, he spent the money so quick dealing with Roblox, he played that a lot. And I'm like, man, you gotta learn how to save. His brother, man, he saves, and if he does something with his money, cool. It don't really motivate him as much. But his thing is, man, he's into fashion. The other one, he still want to be a kid and be a toy. And so he spent all his money, trying to look good, while the other one's still having fun. So motivation, man, get them to have an understanding and the value of money. So that's why I bought those busy cards, busy kids for them cards, letting them know they're dealing with stocks, everything, man. Yeah, and the crazy part, that's I got twin boys, and they 10. I had the green light card, and I, looked at this busy kids one because to me, for them, it has a feature for them to buy stocks and do the charity donations, and they can give to actual charities and buy into stocks, fractional shares. And they teach them about the money at an early age too. So that's one of the things I kind of switching over to this card and see how it works out. I want to teach my boys at a young age to know the value and respect money. You don't have to run the money and let money be your all, but respect money as a tool to help you in life. What is it going to do to help you out? Because, like I say, with me having all this life insurance, I tell my wife and my two oldest all the time, I let them know if something happened to me, you guys are going to be set, but I want you to have that mindset and that motivation, knowing what you're going to do with the money. So I even also talked to one of my friends, and when I set up my trust, I was telling him that, he's going to be over the trust to a degree to help my wife, do these things. And like I explained to him, I'm like, well, you're married, you got kids, and he talks about this all the time. And I appreciate that he told me if anything was to happen to him, he was like, man, it looked like you're going to have two more kids to deal with. Are you going to be ready for that? And I was like, always, man. You know, if anything happens to any of my brothers, that are, from another mother, as we say, I just have to step up. My wife, she just have to understand that. We have more kids to deal with now. And that's the whole part of family that we lose in touch of. I mean, my mother died at a young age. I mean, and I was young. Me and my brothers, we went to stay with my grandma. All her kids were grown. My uncle was probably the youngest. He moved back in, or I don't know if he moved back in or he already actually just stayed there and everything. The guy was like in his 20s. But when we moved in, no, no, I'm sorry about that. He didn't stay there. He moved back with her a little later in life. But yeah, he had his own spot. He had his job. And when we came back to Georgia and moved with her, we knew that it was, a gut feeling that, it was her taking on that responsibility, but understanding she already knew if anything, they had to be with somebody for a reason. That's why my mom was like, if anything goes wrong, I want my boys to go back with my mom, and raise them. And she knew her mom was hard on her, but at the same time, knowing it to be fair. A lot of people, I had a, up and down, relationship with my grandmother, but at the same time, I already knew I had a fair life. You know, it was the things that she taught me later on in life I grasped and I understood. A lot of people don't have that motivation, man. They only see that I wasn't able to get what I want, do what I want at a young age. So therefore, there's an issue with that. But like always, man, I'm about to get ready to get out of here. And shout out to Gold Professor. He's actually going live now, so I'm about to slide on over there. And so I'm gonna go ahead and drop Gold Professor link in the chat right now, and everybody can start making their way over to the Gold Professor, man, and check them out. You know, there's the link for people who still in here. And Kev, man, holla at you, man. Hey, man, I want to see some more videos, man. I know you be talking about the money, man, and I respect, the way you took that initiative to be in your family life, man. I mean, to be in your kids' life, and I always respect every man, even though a lot of people kind of say we do it just to be doing it, but I always give a lot of men respect because even though as a man we always know that that's what men do, and we don't expect no acknowledgement or anything, but just giving a pat on the back, man, and just saying a good job or appreciate, giving somebody some type of appreciation and love to say, man, hey, it is what it is, man. We know that you're supposed to take care of your kids, but for the men, who take care of their kids, they don't get no pat on the back. But I always just say, man, if nobody appreciates you, man, let you know, man, I appreciate you, man, and hey, standing and rising to the occasion. But like I said, go P. That's the link in the chat. Holler at everybody later. And the biggest thing is motivate yourself, man. Motivate your family. It ain't all about self, man. It's about pushing the plight of the generation to come. You know, the children are the future. Teach them well and let them. I ain't even gonna go there. But till next time, man. We here like always. We go. Shout out. Finna go ahead and get a gold P.